Hello folks and welcome to the channel. Tonight we're at the Human Comedy and we're going to Deep Forest. I've been wanting to do this race for some time. And for those of you that know which this one is, you'll know I'm going to be using the Cappuccino, and I'm excited to say I've found a tune that's going to work. We're targeting 620 pp or less. The Cappuccino is a small car and this is an engine swap. So let's have a look at the settings. We're going to do in race mediums. I don't think we're going to be able to get them to go the whole distance, so we're going to have to swap at some point. But I've fiddled with this set. Well, total honesty at this point, I managed to get this set up from somebody on the internet. They said it wasn't theirs and they got it from another YouTuber. But again, with every setup I seem to get off the internet, I can't drive them. So I've had to make some changes to this setup to make it work for me. So let's just run through what we've got and then I'll explain what I've done and why. So medium tyres, fully customizable suspension, and the specifics are if I run down the fronts and then the rears. So body height adjustment 105 140, anti-roll bar 1010, damping ratio compression 35 38, damping ratio expansion 45 48, natural frequency 2.8 to 3.0, negative camber angle 1.5 to 3, and toe angle 0 0. Differential fully customizable, initial torque 20, acceleration safety 5, braking sensitivity 20. So the changes I've made, I've lowered the body height at the rear. I've changed the negative camber angle, I've doubled it, I've increased it from 1.5 to 3, and I've taken any toe angle away because they were scrubbing at toe out on the front and toe in on the rear. My assumption is that's to make it more controllable in the wet. This was a Tokyo 600 setup. It was designed for running intermediates in the wet. Well, what I've done is I've tried to lengthen the actual scrub distance, try and make the tyres last longer, so I've made them 0 0, so that keeps the wheels straight, and therefore when braking, naturally they will squeeze out a bit because that's how braking works. You tend to put pressure on the tyres. But with that, what I've also tried to do is, what you'll get with no scrub is you'll get a bit of drifting under braking. The tyre will start to move a bit, so I've got to control that and you need to be aware of it. Where I have tremendous trouble with the setup on this car on this track is between the last corner and the start finish line there's a large dip, and as you go through the compression you've got to turn. I think every other setup I've driven, the body bottoms out and forces the back end to spin. So I think that's also why the rear was particularly high, and I've lowered that, but you can't go too low or it bottoms out. So there we have it, that's key part of the setup. Downforce on the front 100 maximum, downforce on the rear 300 maximum. Again, you could probably run that down and increase tyre life and probably increase maximum speed, but what you discover is this car doesn't stop, so you don't really want massive maximum speed because you want to brake for the corner. ECU 100, power restrictor 100, no added weight. Manual transmission, again I've changed that. This was set at 400 on a racing transmission. I've reduced that to 320 on a manual. Just gears just seem to work better for me. No turbocharger. The setup I got given was turbocharger, but we're running an intercooler racing. That's going to use more fuel, so we need to be aware of that. But I'm going to run this on FM6. Air cleaner racing, silencer racing, exhaust manifold racing, carbon brake system, racing brake pads, brake controller thrown at -5, so that's all the way to the front. Going to even out tyre wear between the front and the back. We've got a racing clutch, flywheel, engine balance tuning, polished ports, all 3 weight reductions, and then body rigidity. Let's go to the track. So then folks, have a look at the settings. Assist settings, Traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off. We're using a steering wheel and manual transmission. With that being the case, controller settings are open button configuration, steering sensitivity 0, max torque feedback 5, force feedback sensitivity 5. Now let's talk about the exciting stuff. This is what the challenge is, folks. We're currently on 38 laps. Iceman's ahead of us on 38, and Mr. Maguire, who's also given me a setup but I can't drive it, is on 40 laps with the car that we're going to use tonight. We're going to look at the top 10 stars. Not really worth a lot. This 48 laps maximum, and they're all using the Red Bull 2014 standard. I don't think we can do that anymore because you can't get the PP down. But here's the thing, right? We know we used the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution Road Group B road car last week, and we were doing 133s and could only get to the 38th lap. It did brilliantly well, but it wasn't as good as the Radical. I can do 128s in this Cappuccino, believe it or not, not even pushing. But that's on fuel map 1, soft tyres, intermediate tyres, mediums. I can't ask the car to do that because it won't go that far in a full tank, and also the fuel consumption won't get us going that far, so we'd have to stop for fuel, and you know how painful that is. So I've had to come up with a bit of a compromise, and that's going to be fuel map 6. If we get ahead on fuel, I'm going to turn it up and see where we go, but I also think we need to pit stop, and I've done 100 miles in testing today, and I genuinely think I've got to stop twice, but I'm going to try and stop once. If we can get to lap 20, I'm going to change tyres. If it doesn't look like we're going to get to lap 20, I'm still going to have to change tyres, then we're going to have to stop twice. And don't forget, fuel quantity is going to get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, and we just have to see where that's going to go. Folks, I'm extremely nervous. I'm a bit concerned about trashing this one and smashing it up 5 minutes from the end, so I'm a bit shaky, but let's see where we go. It's great to feel like this, but let's get there and let's get to the track. See you on the other side. So the first thing we're going to do is get that fuel map to 6. We're going to get charging down here. We want to see that fuel distance to finish. We want to see that around about the 40s before we do anything with the fuel management. Now, we are considerably quicker than these cars, but they don't like us, so they're going to nerf us off the track at any point they get. They've been doing that a lot to me today. Mr. Yamanaka's just left us a right gap. Thank you, sir. That hole you left was bigger than Greece's financial deficit, but we made it through. Mr. Pinnell next in the go. We'll get some laps under our belt before I start really talking about the race, but let's just get on. We're up to 5th place already on lap 1. It's an absolute little charger, this. As we say, it's an engine swap. It starts out with a teeny engine, this fella, and we've whacked a 2-rotor or a 4-rotor in out of a different car, and it's an absolute beast, braking on the 200. Up to 2nd place. Mr. Breyer, what are you doing? There was a dive bomb from nowhere. Right, we've got 40 laps on the fuel gauge now. We're going to put Mr. Breyer to bed. There we go. That was very aggressive from the AI. We're 5 seconds behind in Austria. I just overshot my braking mark. We need to brake on the 200 every lap and every major braking point. Fuel strategy, we've got 40 laps on it, which is great. That's where we're targeting, to be somewhere near our friend Mr. Maguire. But we're on fuel map 6, so we're not going to be going brake guns, but we're going to be plodding and we're going to be making tracks. That fuel's still going up. get as many laps in as we can. In Austria, who we're rapidly approaching, he's down to 3 seconds now ahead, 2.8 seconds. If we can be in front of him before lap 4, we're going to start pulling out a lead. We know he pits on lap 10, lap 20, lap 30. Where's Breyer? Is he looking to make a dive bomb? No, we put him behind us. This is the corner I was talking about where we lose it. That big compression there as you come off the top of the hill. That's where I used to lose it on the other setups. A 1:32.3. That's a great start, second lap of the race. A 1:32.3 is already quicker than what we did in the Mitzi, and we're on fuel management strategy 6. We're not running a turbo because we want the fuel to go longer. And then Austria is, in our view, not as quick as the last lap as we did, but we did mess up turn 1 by changing down the first gear. And Austria's got some grunt going up here. Pop out of his slipstream, get past him. A 58.7. If you remember watching the other races, a 1 was great there. Just got to watch out for him dive bombing. You're not really dive bombing, we're just so late on the brakes, early on the brakes, because we've got massive braking problems. This car does not like to stop. It's not particularly heavy, it's something like 695 kilos. It's got 400 brake horsepower, so that puts this at something daft like 700 brake horsepower per tonne. Let's get past him again. It's a 1:32.6. Alright, we're going to keep him under pressure. We know where he is. We don't mind him being there, he hates us being where we are. Up his inside, there we go. That messed with his brain, check that out. Perfect opportunity just to lean on him, put him out of position, completely blow his brains. Get down here, 1.5 seconds in the lead. Right, we really need to be thinking about putting in 1:31s. If we can get into 1:31s, we're looking at lap 13, completing lap 13 by the 20th minute. If we can complete the 13th lap by the start of 20 minutes, we're on for this, folks. That would be 39 laps, potentially. I know we can't no-stop it. I can't do it on hard. I've tried it, I just can't get fast enough. One pit stop for hard tyres is going to take around about 25 seconds. If we can run the second half of the race with lesser fuel in the 1:30s, we're going to knock 18 seconds of our previous 19 laps. We're already nearly 3 seconds up on an Austria. I know we had that overtaken, a bit of a dice with an Austria in the last lap, so the 1:33 was respectable, but if we can put in some 1:31s, 1:30, that'll bring that back. I've seen, in my practices, I've done 100 miles of practice laps, and that's probably on a dozen setups. There's a 58.4. I have done a 56.9 through that time stamp there, through that time check for sector 2. And for those of you who run laps here regularly for the human comedy, that's a phenomenal time in any car. Unless of course you did it in a Red Bull back in the day. But I avoid the Red Bull, it's not something I want to play with. I know the Junior might be able to do it. There's a 1:31.9, that's a great response. That took that second back that we wanted to take off. The second that we gave up battling with Nostra. We're 4 seconds ahead on lap 6. Essentially halfway through our first stint. Almost halfway through. Still putting in purple sectors. Fastest laps. 31.9 is pretty impressive. Just like to give a shout out to a couple of new subscribers, a couple of new followers. One especially messaged me this morning and said, "Thank you so much for helping me with Deep Forest. I managed to break it, but I don't know how you managed to get 133s. I've only done 134s and was able to win it with the Honda RA262. Well, I did blow his mind a little bit when he said, well, I'm currently doing laps in a car doing a 128, and that is this car. If you put it on fuel map 1, you can run 128s, and I challenge you to. If you really want to get up your friends, let's get to the top, and you think you can do it, get on it, folks. This is a great little setup. The base setup I got from the go of the internet started me down the right road to 31.7. That's a great start. Just got to build on what we started doing here. Just got to put the times in, get the times coming down. The braking point for that last corner was at the 200. Here we're just going to dab the brakes down to third, get the front in. You can cross the white line, but don't get all 4 wheels on the grass. Same here. Onto the brakes, 2 wheels on the grass. Accelerate up, come to this corner, 2 wheels over the white line, but not on the grass. Accelerate as soon as you can, 2 wheels over the white line, but don't put all 4. 2 wheels over the curb, and then dip 2 wheels on the left hand side here. Just like that. Let the car run out wide, down to second for this corner, 2 wheels on the grass. Run out wide if you need to, use all the road. So we've just passed the 10-minute mark. We're 10 seconds ahead of Nostra. We're on lap 7. Breyer is following up in third. Fernandez, who's extremely quick in the early part of the race, he's up to 4th place. Miazano, he's in 5th, Yamanaka in 6th, Mr. Cruz, again especially quick in the early part of the race, and Mr. Boudoir in the Renault is known for being quick. He's a contender for this. In certain versions of this race I've seen him coming second only to me, but there we have it. We put in a really poor time. I think we did that time, we got it out of check. A 1:32.6, still not bad, still faster than we did in the Mitsubishi. 35 laps of fuel left. We're on the 8th lap, so that's saying we're going to do best part of 42, 43 laps. So we're building up a bit of a reserve that we can turn up as we get into the race. I think we need to do that as we come out of the pits after our tyres stop, if we can get to lap 20. We need to assess that when we get to lap 13, just 5 laps to go. I think these tyres will go all the way to 20, to be honest. If we can do these tyres to 20, that gives us the chance of running that last stint to 39 and then possibly on to 40. Take the pain early, and then we'll blitz it out of the pits on fuel map 6. I say blitz it, it's not particularly fast, but for this little car we'll absolutely rock it. It's proving to be the fastest car on the track that we've ever driven in this race. 14.9, 15 seconds ahead of Nostra. If he's not a broken man, well, he's got to put some effort in to catch us, baby. back into the 131s, and another personal best, and another fastest lap of the race at 1:31.4. Let's see if we can dip into the 1:30s before the pit stop. That'd be tremendous. We're on 80% of the fuel required in the tank. 80% of our fuel level. 1/5 of the way down. Squirrely there. We borrowed a bit too much about 3 corners back, and that just set us off as we came down there. Probably going to run a slow lap, probably a 1:31.9, 1:31.95 maybe. Yeah, we're 0.4 of a second off, so that's roughly where my estimations are. It's what we lost through those corners. Drifted out there but missed the change up because of the slip on the wheels. 18 seconds ahead of Inostra now, 19. That could mean we're a minute ahead after he pits. That'd be tremendous if we are. We are coming around onto lap 10. 1:31.8, so we were roughly right as to where we were, the time lost. I've seen the story before. Cars starting to move around under us as the tyres start to wear. We're about 50%, almost 50% done on the tyres. Lap 10, we're just coming around to start to lap the first of the tail enders. Really need these tyres to go to that 20th lap. It'd be tremendous if they can. How far off are we at this sector? Again, about the same, so 1:31.8 expected. Usually, we come up the back of the pack here, and it's not Mahi in last place, it's normally what's his name? I was going to say Nielsen, but that's not right. Van der Roel or whatever. Oh dear, out of the way, Mr. Audi. Oh, blimey. You are running slowly. We had to dab the brakes there, so we lost over a second. See if we can make that up. What I do know is the rear tyres are just starting to show signs that they've had enough. There's Mr. Inostra into the pits then. See if we can make some progress. Just try and be a bit casual rather than aggressive. Let's try and carry the speed that we've got rather than scrub it all. I don't want the car sliding. There's 2 corners we've got to be really careful of, and that's this one here. See the back end come round, we've got to be wary of that. So coming up on the back of Mr. Lim, Inostra is still in the pits, so we're 32 seconds ahead of Mr. Breyer. Van der Heuvel, that was his name. But the 4 cars together here, this is tremendous. Mr. Van der Heuvel didn't think to move for the blue flags at all. Didn't see us coming. He's losing places hand over fist. Mr. Lim, he's moved out the way for us. Well done, thank you, sir. And then I think it'll be Mr. Portilla. Another 33, but we did have to have a lift. Come on, Mr. Portilla. He has, he's just eased off. He's letting us go there. try and drive through this tyre wear problem. Just got to get through it. Oh, look at that, beautiful, just popped in a purple sector first split while we were just negotiating around Mr. Portilla. But does that all come from use of the slipstream, or is just that efficient line that we managed to eke out of there? It's going to be Mr. Neto in the Mitzi. Fernandez has gone to the pits. I think Brea will be going to something like lap 20, so we're not going to see that true gap till we're past, till we're potentially in the pits ourselves. Mr. Neto, he's probably going to get round the corner before us. He is. There was that wandering in the brakes I talked about, Mr. Healy next. Oh, Mr. Neto just braked there. That was uncalled for. That's given us front end damage that could cause issues. So come up to a minute 41 and a half. That'll be lap 13 at 20 minutes. We are so close to being on target. So close. Come on, Mr. Fennell. Thank you. I really want you wandering around in front of me quite so much. Mr. Pounder in the Bugatti next. So we'll be able to work out just how far off target we are when we come round and complete this lap. I think we're going to be something like 16 seconds off, which would suggest that we need to be doing 1:30s for the second half of the race. We've got 29 laps of fuel available. And we've got to do 26 more laps. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's now the time to the line that we're off target. It's going to be some 10 seconds. 10 seconds we're off target. And we've still got a pit. So now the challenge is to get to 20 laps before 30 minutes. 6 laps, 10 minutes. It's going to be close. It's 7 laps, 10 minutes. Oh, to say I'm nervous is an understatement. I've got the butterflies. Will these tyres go another 6 laps? That's the question. They've got to do another third, and I don't think they will. That back right looks to be on its last knock-ins. Mr. Brea's gone to the pits. We're a minute ahead of Miazano. I wonder if we could do 19 laps. To the end of the 19, 5 more. There's a 31.8, so we're back in the 31s. There's Brea just coming out the pits now. He stopped for a long dose of fuel. So we're lapping everybody up to 10th place, which is really, really stunning for this time of the race. I've never been this fast at this point. Brea just backed out of that, thank you, sir. I can't imagine doing this on hards and running this sort of speed, expecting them to do 40 laps. we might be able to do 2 stops. If we did like 13 laps and then a stop for just tyres, 13 laps then a stop for just tyres, we could stop for a minute possibly, 2 30-seconders. We might be able to. We might be able to get that second stop in if we can just keep these tyres alive. I don't know how we're going to do the 1 stopper, but let's see what does. It could all be that mistake. It could be just trying to push too far on the tyres. They are sliding a bit now. We'll be chasing down there. It looks like the Alpha 155. Got a penalty there. I'll probably just cut that a tiny bit tight. I don't know. We're just 6 thousandths down. No, 600ths down. Brain's starting to fail on the calculations and maths. It's Mr. Brooks from Canada. Say I was excited about getting this set up and actually having it drive well was such an understatement. I've been thinking about this all day. But I've had a full day of work to do, and it's meant just getting my head down, getting on and thinking about this when I got home. Concentrate on the job in hand. Another 31, going to go around the outside of Mr. Gallo, but I think we'll just come back up the inside. Not going to give it up though. There we go, that's Mr. Gallo put behind us. Sus Willow next. We're now attacking the top 8. I'm putting that far too fine, that corner. Be a bit more cautious around there because I don't want the penalty. But it's just about managing the slide of the car. The back end's really moving now. I don't want it to do that because I want to maintain that back right. Try and lengthen its longevity. Mr. Boudoir, I'm going to try and take your slipstream for some of it, thank you. Mr. Cruz, I want your slipstream as well. I'm probably going to use you going down the hill. I'm going to brake on the 200, that'll give you a chance to just get yourself ready, my friend. As we go on to lap 18. Wasn't too generous at letting me have his slipstream there, he moved off the line early. Fuel percentage down to 60%. Braking on the top of the hill, lap 18. 2 laps to do on these tyres, it's going to be a push. I was supposed to be grinding for credits tonight. This was more important than knocking out a couple of million credits so I could buy that Honda F1 car, the MP4. Was it Honda or McLaren? Might have been McLaren actually. Oh, that back end really went then. So we've been consistently in the 32s really. Once we got off the 33s we managed to get them down, but they've been high 31s when we've been in the 31s. I think I almost missed my braking point there. I don't think we're going to get 2 more laps in. we're only going to get 19 in. I think this is going to have to be the last lap. And if we're going to push for the last lap, we're going to do it right at the end of the race. I'm just looking at the time, 31 minutes remaining. I think we're going to pit on this lap, which will take us to 38. I don't think we're going to push for the 40th lap on this event. That 40th lap will have to come on another day, I think. We're not going to beat Mr. Maguire, but we want lap 39. That would be tremendous. We're going to play on the side of caution. We're not going to give up. We're just going to say today's fight is for lap 39. And that'll please Mr. Maguire, I think, to some degree. Let's go to the pits now. I don't want to blow it. There we go. We're going to take mediums. We're not going to take fuel. We're 1 minute 21 ahead of Inostra. And he's pitting next lap. So, where's our pit stop time? Pit stop duration is at the top there. Pit time 25 seconds when the tyres come off. So it's going to be the best part of 30 seconds in the pit lane. More than that. Right, we're on a decent set of tyres. Mr. Breyer coming round again to unlap himself, I would suggest. Get-go here. We don't want to kill the tyres in the first part of the stint, so let's get a couple of laps under a belt, and then we'll look at reducing that fuel or increasing that fuel map, so we can then target the end of the race using all the available fuel while the tyres are good. We know there's 20 laps to go, 19 laps to go, so let's tick up that fuel map to 5. Let's see if we can manage to drive this to the end as best we possibly can. There's Mr. Brooks. Laps remaining, but we know there's 19, so we're just going to let 5 burn away. We'll just burn fuel map 5 for a little while, see where we can go on our lap times. I'd rather do 5 laps 1 second better off than 1 lap 3 seconds better off. Mr. Gallo, we're 1 minute 3 ahead of Inostra, and he's going to pit now. Around to Mr. Mahi. And Mr. Suswillow. Willow. Inostra's now gone to the pits. There's a likelihood we're going to lap him. That was Beauvoir we put behind us. chasing Cruz now. Just kind of interfering with their race, aren't we? So that's Nostra and Miazano to the pits, definitely. 1:31.2, so we're putting in fastest laps of the race, which is kind of only to be expected. Come on, Mr. Cruz, give it up, naughty boy. This will be Yamanaka, who's now in second, so he's taken up the lead of the race. Mr. Yamanaka and I came to blows earlier in some of the practice laps. He was not at all happy with this little Cappuccino coming past him. He's not even happy now, is he? He hasn't really made me any room, but we've made our own door. So we're still showing 20 laps of fuel left. That means we could push it to 4. Start to push, but not forgetting that's going to increase tyre wear. We've just got to keep pushing, folks. We know we've got to keep pushing. We don't want to blow this. Seconds remaining, and we're on lap 22. Another fastest lap of the race. We're in the 1:30s. Yamanaka and Cruz in the pits. Brooks and Gallo will go to the pits. We've lapped everybody on the circuit just after the halfway point of the race. Damage was done in the early part of the race by gapping everybody. First sector, half a second gain. Somebody asked me earlier, how do you just put in such fast laps? It's just practice, 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 practice. Running these laps, making these videos, running the laps, getting used to the car. Look at that, 0.8 of a second up. We could be on a 1:29 here. And we don't really want to be doing that, folks. Drifting the car through those apexes is just not part of the plan. And if that was exceptionally quick, well, I'm going to turn that fuel map down, because I don't think we need to be doing that. We need to be braking just that fraction early. Oh, 1:30.047. I gave it the commentator's curse there, didn't I, by mentioning a 29. I think it's definitely on though. 18 laps of fuel. 14 laps. Just back off this fuel map. We're getting very, very quick. We just need to let the car do the work. So as we get back onto the straight, I'm going to go back to fuel map 5 and just let the car just do itself, getting lighter in fuel. We're overpowering the car. But a 1:30.047, 3 seconds a lap faster than the Mitzi. This little beaut of a car, an absolute gem with the engine swap, with a setup that now really handles, you can really drive the car. I'm not forgetting, folks, I'm a TCer, so I've got assistance here. If you're a non-TCer, you should love this car. I really have no concept of where we're going to be in sort of times at the end of the race. I know I'm challenging for the 39th lap. That's what I've set myself. so know, this is quite a rare engine swap. There aren't that many people that have got this. People have chosen to put this engine in the RX, in the RX7. This is the RX7 engine, isn't it? Sorry. They've chosen to put this in the other swap that's available. I know I had to wait for this engine. I was lucky enough to get it. So the last lap was a 31.0, just 1 second down on our previous lap best. 13 laps to go. Oh no, we're going to get a penalty for that. I changed down to first gear far too early. No penalty, folks. Holy hell, Bob. Why no penalty? Oh, we won't mention that. Just gloss over that fact, folks. Oh my. 31.4 with a blooming great big mistake in it. At 26, 21 minutes to go, just under. We want to do 13 laps. Well, we actually technically want to do 12 laps in 20 minutes because the 39th lap we're just going to fall across the finish line. And this is a one-stopper on mediums. Is a no-stopper on hards are probable. I don't think it can be. We're around to lap Mr. Cruz again. Fernandez has gone to the pits. We haven't got a time between us and an Austria. He's managed to get himself back to the top of the pack. The race is a complete mess behind us, I must admit. Mr. Healy, 13th place. So we've got 15 laps of fuel left. Mr. Healy giving us room. Looks that way. The front end started to dart about then. That wasn't fantastic. It didn't feel great. 15 laps of fuel left. 19 minutes 33 to go. Faster in this car is to turn that fuel map up and try and put some absolute doozy laps in. I'm just trying to run consistent regular laps at the moment without stressing the tyres or me. A little bit of draft off Mr. Fernandez, who hits the wall. Mr. Pounder in the Bugatti in front of us. Just need to be aware that we're going to be braking from the slipstream, so just let the car slow down. He's actually got a wriggle on as Mr. Pounder now. Us there. 11 laps to go, including this one. 17 minutes. Mr. Van der Hoeven. Got to be aware of your surroundings, my friend. You've just put me right off. Didn't really need to miss that apex. I I've done 27 consistent apexes there, and I blew that one on the 28th lap. I'll learn to live to rue that one. So Swillow goes to the pits on his hard tyres, dropping him out of 4th place. See Boudoir, as I said earlier in the commentary, Boudoir pushing up to 2nd place. He actually fares well, he's very fast in that Renault. Fast and consistent, I think, at that point. Really need to get a click on here. 16 minutes 34 to go. 1:31. To Mr. Marley again, Mahi. He's just running his laps. Let's see if he can not interfere with our line here. We just had to drift round his back axle then. So there are further possibles we could go with this car. We can turbo it, medium, low, high. There's also the option to use, I think there's a carbon diff available, carbon prop shaft available for this car, and the super high turbo. If you can find the super high turbo, you can run this on this car as well. The PP is entirely negligible. I haven't run through the various PPs with you, but I can promise you this: they're all within 5 or 6 PP of this limit, and there's no threat at all to you exceeding the PP limit. This car tops out about 580 PP, so you're well inside the target. It's another one of those races where they won't let you run the soft tyres, but with the soft tyres it would really be a cakewalk for this car. Really, it would dominate even further, because I'd be so tempted to run the 2 stops. If I could do 130s consistently, it's probably worth 2 stopping, but noting that the time was around about 40 seconds for just a tyre change, I don't think you can 2 stop with this unless you're doing 30s, sub 130s. 14 minutes left to go on the clock, 14:04, 3, 2, 1. We put a 57.4 in second split. We're going to brake on the 200. Down the outside of Mr. Brooks. Mr. Breyer's gone to the pits again, just put Mr. Brooks, Mr. Lim behind us, charging down the hill, and looks like Mr. Cruz is not Mr. Gallo. I do like waving to Gallo as you go past. Dear mate, 13 minutes 30 left to go. 8 laps. Mr. Suswillow. We're getting lighter now. The further we get into the race, this car tries to perform better, but it's becoming extremely light. Don't want to miss the gears. I was flapping around then. I thought I'd knocked the fuel gauge, and I had. That was a mistake. 10 laps of fuel remaining. Widdowmaker again, purely catching up with him because he's fitted. Oh, we're doing... Mr. Yamanaka. What had I told you about him earlier? That was a 2-second loss. He really did take a dislike to us in the practice session. I nearly thought he'd come to haunt us then. Revenge there. I wasn't objecting to that. That was deliberate. Shouldn't do that to the AI. They'll remember you for the next time. Just wanted to let him know. Nostra goes to the pits. He actually stopping on that hour lap 32, so that'll be his lap 30. There's a chance we can put him down another lap here. Here's Miyazano overtaking him. Oh, I've missed my braking point. We recovered that relatively well. 10 minutes 30 seconds to go. Some 7 laps to do. That's in Austria behind us. It was just come out the pit lane there. That's him 2 laps down. That's this image of a broken man there. I really don't know how many laps we're going to have done here. The back tyres are now starting to look just that little bit shy of good. Stop drifting round corners with him. If we have to do the last lap on ball tyres, that's what we're going to do. We can't get overtaken by anybody, we can crawl that 39th lap. To do it, I think. 19% left. We're round on to lap 34. 8 minutes 59. Missed my braking point. The car broke free. Never good. That was at the wrong time to have that accident. I'd have been nervous. What did I say with about the start there? Blow it with about 5 minutes left. It was with 8 minutes left. That left rear locked up, but I panic braked because I've missed my braking point. Oh dear. Here's where we find out the damage. That was a 130.5 as well, so it was a really decent lap, that previous one. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in the 140s, 10-second lost. We do have the opportunity, if we want to slam it in the pits, waste 40 seconds. There's no point in wasting 40 seconds. We've just got to run 5 laps on this tyre. We've just got to brake at the right point. Not get tipped out by anybody. Look for your braking markers. Concentrate. This isn't about beating the pack. This is about beating yourself. Fortilla is going to move out the way. I'm going to take the inside line and brake just as we go over the crest. He's going to be a gentleman, he has all race. He just helped us into the corner there. Here's Naughty Boy Netto. Now I know 6 minutes is 4 laps. Dancing about under the brakes now. Those rear tyres are starting to move about. The uneven wear, the uneven grip. 5 minutes 32 to go. Mr. Healy again. Yeah, Mr. Healy. Just keeping me straight and honest. Well done, sir. This is touch and go. I don't think I've got the option to turn the power up because I don't think that's rear right is going to last. That's tremendously slow, and look, that one lap that stands out is that 1:37, and since that 1:37 we've got slower a 31 than a 32. Blown it. I've absolutely blown it. That I've blown it. I've just got my steering back correct. We're going to make 39 laps, folks. We've got 2 minutes 39 remaining. We're going to do it. We're going to get to 39, but we've got to get this to 40. The back end is just all over the place. That rear right, it really has given up the ghost. It's got 2 lines of graphics left. It's got 2 pixels of tread. I've got 2 minutes to get round to start the 39th lap. And it's not that I've given up, I realise I've picked the wrong strategy. I've got to do a 2-stopper, I've got to run on fuel map 4, and I've got to push these tyres to the limit, 13 laps a time, and I've got to lose 1 minute 40 seconds in the pits. And then I've got to make that time up by burning more fuel. Folks, 1 line of pixels left and then back right tyres, 1 minute 22. I can afford to be cautious now. This is going to be that 1 lap. I've never been this far. This is going to be lap 39. Not going to be Mr. Maguire, but I'm still thoroughly stoked. Just got to check this up, he's gone. That's the back tyre just dying on us. Feels like I've got a flat. Mr. Conomos, I have not seen you all race. Well done, sir. Thank you for backing up and backing out. I probably got a penalty there. I have. Oh, the back end is just not having it. We've got no grip left on that back right. Is that in Nostra? I'm gonna have to let him unlap himself. He's coming through. Oh, there's nothing we can do. The car just wants to pirouette. Got to take the penalty as well. And we've got 4 corners to go. Rather a shambolic end. The time is now finished, so ultimately what we realise is we're still a long way from that 40th lap. We tried to do that on mediums. We've got the options of doing that on hards. Here we go, through the finish line, 39 laps. I am thoroughly chuffed with that, but we could have done better. Thoroughly could have done better. Oh, I've got cold shivers. Oh, wow. Everybody lapped 2 times, look at that. Everybody 2 times. 3 times down to K Fernandez. What a superb little car. Fastest lap of 1:30.047. There she comes, the little monster. Absolutely superb. I knew it would come good. Absolutely knew it would. Absolute little flyer. Look at her go in there. She's really solid and stiff. With those torsion bars at 10:10. She's an absolute little rocket racer. Look at her go. She's tiny. She might be small, but she's a warrior. Look at her go. There she is. And with that, folks, we move into 2nd place on our own there, just above Iceman, leaving the rest of the field behind. But if they too want to get faster, they can use this setup, they can use this car. If they want to return to it, it's the one that they can try out. All of you guys down the bottom there. And that's not me dissing what you've done. Look at there, Victor. Victor, well done, my friend. Good stuff. Really impressive. 37 laps, got the gold. Everybody's there got the gold. But if you want to do that bit better, Try that little monster out, folks. It's a great little car. And with that, thank you very much, Mr. Maguire. Well, we'll come to get you. Thank you very much, JB, for the skins. Thank you everyone else for the encouragement. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, thanks for supporting the channel. All the best. Take care.